When I say triangulation in qualitative research, that means the process of using 2 or more data points to answer the age-old question, where the heck am I? In Scouts, we teach triangulation and orienteering as a method of using 2 distinct landmarks in the distance to pinpoint your location on your map. When you have the luxury of having 2 or more points in the distance to refer to, it is much more accurate than having to rely on a single data point. Similarly, in qualitative research, having 2 or more data points is very helpful. What's that, you ask? What does any of this have to do with qualitative research? Well, in qualitative research, we use 2 or more methods and/or data sets, perspectives, to pin down the most reliable conclusions when studying a concept. Why would we expend that energy to use 2 different reference collections? Well, the use of triangulation qualitative research has several advantages in validating the accuracy of the researcher's conclusion. For one, it helps eliminate bias from preconceived notions. It can allow the researcher to compare evidence from other similar research. If you use 2 or more data sets collection, it helps one better understand their data as it relates to their question. Ultimately, the same similar conclusions when they're reached from both methods assure the accuracy of the conclusion. What's that, you ask? How many different ways are there to use triangulation in qualitative research? Great question. There are 7 to 8 different methods categorized in the literature. The most common ones are method triangulation, data triangulation, investigator triangulation, and theory triangulation. And we'll cover those in more detail here in just a minute. But thanks for asking. Wait, don't leave. There's a lot more exciting stuff to talk about triangulation and qualitative research. There's more to come. Methodological triangulation entails the use of multiple research methods to compare and contrast different insights each method may provide. This helps assure objective analysis and prevents researcher bias with regards to research results. One method of method triangulation will use 2 types of interview groups, such as individual interviews, focus groups, or maybe face-to-face interviews versus phone interviews. Another method of method triangulation would be to use qualitative research and quantitative research data collection methods, and then compare and contrast the 2 to strengthen your research question. So, using an individual interview, you can construct a preconceived interview guide with open-ended questions, and you can get much more detailed answers from a participant, and you can really get deep inside their mind. The power of the focus group. Focus groups allow an interviewer to use very simple, short, fairly well-guided, but open-ended questions to allow the group with similar interests to talk over how this affects them, what their thoughts and beliefs were, and bounce ideas across there just to see how they seem to respond to these types of questions. Data triangulation involves the use of different sources of data to examine phenomena across settings at different points in time. One example will be use of similar data collected by similar researchers at different institutions. This allows one to assess the similarities or differences of the phenomena based on where the study originated. Investor triangulation involves different investigators gathering data to produce more complex empirical accounts by understanding possible differences. This would be where you had more than one person performing interviews using the same interview guide. Theory triangulation is where different concepts and theoretical perspectives are used to see how each illuminates the data in different ways. For instance, the use of competing theories to explain a behavior. Scales triangulation is where researchers use 2 different scales typically used to analyze a phenomenon, such as measuring pain thresholds using 2 types of pain scales. One measure tests pain severity, while the other may test pain duration, and these may help and strengthen the validity of both measures, comparing them to each other. External validity triangulation is the use of diverse data sets or methods, such as using people with different health conditions, such as sampling people with diabetes, heart disease, and lung diseases. Then the researchers compare these groups for similarities or dissimilarities to prove or disprove their research question. Internal validity triangulation involves use of different data sets within the study, looking at weaknesses in the study sets to determine alternatives to be used in the study, such as using similar pain scales, comparing responses to pain medications in patients with chronic pain versus those who do not have chronic pain. It enables identification of these problems so the study can be strengthened. Proximity triangulation involves the use of data comparison with people close in time proximity, such as using the response to social media amongst different generations of people within the same time period to assess how the generations relate to one another. So, when I say triangulation in qualitative research, what I mean is using two or more research methods or data sets to compare these to assure that we are eliminating bias and help us draw a conclusion which has more support than using a single data set. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Thank you very much. Great. Where am I? Look, team, you're going to have to take this serious. Qualitative theory is really important, and triangulation methodology is something we really have to teach everyone. If you can't take this serious, I'm going to have to find a replacement for you. So, are we engaged or what? All right, next team. Come on, guys. Let's find someone else. This is really important. Everyone needs to learn how to use triangulation methodology in qualitative research. Are you going to behave or not? I need you to help me here. Oh, forget it.